The Chiefs find their new left tackle and maybe more. Free agency has started. Let's break it all down and get in. Happy legal tampering period, Chiefs Kingdom. I'm Tucker Franklin on today's Chiefs News Daily, sitting in for Hayley Lewis as we've got all kinds of news to get to. We had a busy weekend. We got a busy Monday. The Chiefs signing some guys, re-signing some of their own guys as they are stocking up before the league new year on Wednesday. Make sure to like and subscribe to the video here as I've got a conversation with KCSN lead reporter Herbie Teope. We're going to be breaking down each of the moves the Chiefs made today, couple of big moves made on Monday, and some moves they made over the weekend, bringing back a couple of their own guys. So make sure to like and subscribe to the video once again, and let's get into my conversation with Herbie Teope. Herbie, appreciate you hopping on with me to talk a little bit about some Chiefs free agent moves. They waste no time on Monday as the legal tampering, the negotiation period, whatever you want to call it, as they get things ripping, ready to go. Let's talk about the big move, the move of Monday, as the Chiefs signed Jaylon Moore to a 2-year deal worth $30 million, 21 of that guaranteed. What are you hearing about that deal?
Well, I actually like this deal. Look, they're getting a guy who's about ready to enter his prime years. He's 27 years old. And the thing that I like about this signing is where he played previously to sign here from the San Francisco 49ers over the last 4 seasons, he got to watch and learn under a guy who's probably going to end up in the Hall of Fame, Trent Williams. Don't forget, the Chiefs a few years ago, before they traded for Orlando Brown, they were in the market for Trent Williams, and it came all the way down to the last minute before Trent Williams said, hey, I'm going to stay with the 49ers. But now they get the guy who backed him up. And Moore comes from, obviously, Western Michigan. Sky Moore's old college. He was a 3-year starter in college at left tackle. So when you take him from, he was a prospect then, obviously, but now he had a chance to learn from a proven veteran, and now he's coming into this system. Don't forget also the San Francisco 49ers under Kyle Shanahan run a version of the West Coast offense. The West Coast offense is predicated on quick throws. Get those throws out of there, and that's what Andy Reid loves to do. He's a very capable blocker as well in the run game, so I actually like this move.
It's a 2-year deal. I believe that they do have an out after the first year as well. So I think it's a contract that if it doesn't work out, not necessarily paying a bunch of money for a guy that was, as we started on Herbie on Monday, we started to see all these other tackle contracts start to come in. I think for me, I started to feel a whole lot better about this move once I start to see the Dan Moore contract come in, or the other tackles that were out there start to go to different teams.
Yeah, the Chiefs did not have to break the bank. And that's the key thing when you're trying to find that blindside protector. They didn't break the bank. So if you give him 2 years here, if he's not the answer, then obviously the Chiefs are right back to square one. And then BJ and I talk about this at the combine. Sooner or later, you would want the Chiefs to stop that revolving door that they've had at left tackle. And what is it? He's now 1, 2, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the 5th left tackle since Eric Fisher left. So, from Orlando Brown, 5, he's the 5th guy. So you want that revolving door to close, but I like this signing simply because of his age. He's 27, and I can't help but always go back to he learned under Trent Williams.
It's a very big upside pick as well. As you mentioned, not a ton of game experience, but a guy that is going to bring the tutelage that he learned about from Trent Williams there.
If you go back and look at last year when Trent Williams was hurt, a lot of the reports that came out of San Francisco is that he was a capable fill at the left tackle position. So that helps out a lot too. So we got some good game experience, and the system fits.
Yeah, I think that this could be a good move here for the Kansas City Chiefs, and they also addressed another need that I think we've talked about a lot at the Combine too, at running back, as only a few moments later they were able to sign another 49er coming over, Elijah Mitchell. That's a 1-year, $3.5 million deal. They're add another body to the running back room that kind of desperately needed some bodies in that room. What are you hearing about this signing here, Herbie?
Well, not necessarily just bodies, Tucker. They needed speed back there, okay? Yeah. Look at the guys that he's replacing. Of course, Kareem past his prime, when the Chiefs got him last year. Kareem Hunt signed a 1-year deal, but when you look at Isaiah Pacheco and those 3 types of running backs, they're pounders. when you have with Elijah Mitchell is a guy who possesses 4.38 40-yard dash speed. And so that injects that speed element that the Chiefs need in that backfield. I like the thunder and lightning combination that they have there. That I think if Clyde Edwards-Helaire had worked out, their former first-round draft pick, this is what the Chiefs probably envisioned there, that thunder and lightning type dynamic. And you have that now with Elijah Mitchell. He has a little bit more upside. The guy averaged 6.2 yards per carry in college, okay? That's pretty darn good. And now you add that speed element to it. He's a capable receiver out of the backfield. His best season in the pros with the 49ers, obviously his rookie year, almost 1,000 yards rushing, nine rushing touchdowns. So he's a guy that can produce if he's thrust into a major role.
He has had some injury issues as well. We don't want to ignore those there, but the Chiefs have been able to make those work with running backs that have had some injury issues too. You talk about a guy like Jerick McKinnon, a guy they got from the 49ers, who had some injury issues and, ended up being a pretty big piece in a Super Bowl team. Hopefully that's what Elijah Mitchell is for this team here. This is a thick and full running back class in the draft. I don't think this pick, the signing takes them out of drafting a running back as well either.
Tucker, here's something else to consider. When you think about these two signings, they're coming from the 49ers, and it goes back to Kyle Shanahan's version of the West Coast offense. So the only thing that these two are going to have to learn under Andy Reid, it's the same system, but it's a matter of learning the language. Certain plays that they call it, what they called it in San Francisco is not going to translate here in Kansas City. So it's just a matter of learning the vocabulary. But I think just like Moore, Elijah Mitchell is a good fit.
It's going to be good to see there. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, Herbie. I don't know if we've seen the Chiefs this active and this early on in the negotiation window as it opens up. Usually it is a little bit closer to that league New Year Day, that Wednesday, but they don't mess around. These are at like 11 o'clock Central Time, right when the negotiation window opens up. They were on it.
Yeah, they were absolutely on, and this is the beauty of the combine. Brett Veach always mentions that the agents are also in Indianapolis, and Indianapolis is the preview or the prelude to the start of the league's calendar year. So when you have agents and general managers all under the same roof, and I'm sure they probably said, hey, if the 49ers don't bring your guys back, we might be interested. What's it going to take? So once the clock starts at 11 a.m. Central Time, when these deals are already out, so you pretty much know that the skids were greased weeks ago in Indianapolis.
That's not the only thing that gets greased in Indianapolis, I tell you what. But let's talk about a couple of the moves that happened over the weekend. Obviously, no Chiefs News Daily on the weekend, so we got to tell you about a big addition, or I guess a big two re-signings that the Chiefs had. 3-year deal, $45 million for Nick Bolton coming back to the Kansas City Chiefs. What are you hearing about this one, Herbie?
Here's the deal with this one, okay? And everybody who follows the Chiefs, if you ever watch defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo's Thursday press conferences, there's always a guy he raves about, and that's the green dot in Nick Bolton. Most Missouri Tiger fans knew that he was a thumper, but over the past 4 years, he has evolved into the bona fide leader of the Chiefs defense. The Chiefs trust him enough where he's allowed to line teammates defensively, call the defensive plays, make sure they're in the right spot at the right time. For me, it came down to who was more important to the Chiefs defense, Justin Reed or Nick Bolton, and I think the answer is clear. It is Nick Bolton.
Yep, the coaches rave about him. They love his smartness, and I joked about on our breaking news team video that we did when it happened. This might be the most polarizing move that the Chiefs could have made this offseason. People either love it or people either hate it, but I think that just kind of sums up everything on social media pretty much.
Hey, as long as the Chiefs love him, right? That's the thing that matters probably the most.
Let's wrap up with this one here, Herbie. Hollywood Brown coming back on a 1-year deal worth up to $11 million. Lots of incentives in that deal. I think this one kind of seemed like a no-brainer.
Yeah, it also makes perfect sense based on Brett Veach's comments at the Combine. If you remember when he was on the podium, he touched on the wide receiver position. He said Rashee Rice, if he's healthy, can be a top 10 wide receiver. He mentioned that Xavier Worthy made strides last season in his rookie year. And then the very next player that he mentioned was Marquise Hollywood Brown. I think he specifically said, we'll see if we can get him back. And so that was pretty telling that Brown would be at the top of his priority list when you consider that DeAndre Hopkins, Juju Smith-Schuster, Justin Watson, and McCole Hardman were among that wide receiver group that were set to hit the free agency. But he made it a point to say Hollywood Brown. So I think this made perfect sense.
Lots of incentives in that deal as well. I do think.
And stay healthy. Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of them based on him being healthy. And I think that makes all the sense in the world for both sides. Look, when Hollywood Brown signed last year, a lot of people kind of anticipated it being a prove-it deal for him to go off and make some more money elsewhere. And now he's in the spot where he needs another prove-it deal. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for both of these guys. And he really started to come on last year towards the playoffs and at the end of the season when he was finally healthy. I'm excited to see him in the offense.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And the familiarity, last season, even when he was hurt, he was in the meeting rooms. So he was able to grasp that, fully grasp the offensive system. And during the offseason, he's going to be down in Texas with Patrick Mahomes and the receiver core working out with Patrick. So this should set him up well coming into the 2025 season.
Herbie, appreciate you hopping on with me, kind of recapping day one of the negotiation period. We'll keep you on speed dial here at Chiefs News Daily as we are getting ready to the league new year and everything. So appreciate you, Herbie.
No problem, Tucker.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for today's edition of Chiefs News Daily. We'll be back at it again tomorrow. And in the meantime, make sure to show us some love here on the KCSN YouTube channel. Drop a like, drop a subscribe, even drop a comment in there. Let us know what your favorite signing is the Chiefs have made so far. Have a great rest of your Monday, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Have a great one, Chiefs Kingdom.